welcome back to Beauty Angels, episode 6.
It's all about blokes.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, Linda, but this time, we had so many things for so many men. We've been asked so many times, we thought we'd do it.
okay. But before you do, make sure you subscribe because we're doing a wonderful giveaway.
When we reach 500 subscribers, we'll be sending a box of goodies to you. Ladies, actually. Sorry, blokes, you can have one next time. But we want 500 subscribers, and then we shall do it.
Yes, so head over to Instagram, the.beautyangels, and enter the competition. It will tell you all how to enter and all the details and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's very interesting, isn't it, Linda? You're married to a boy who's like a girl.
I am really lucky. He likes shopping. I've roped him into some treatments and things. He's really into looking after himself, which I think a lot of men are now.
Yeah, they are. And I think it's so nice. I mean, do you remember when we were growing up? I mean, the guys that used to go out with, I mean, they were sort of used to wear horrible knickers, and they used to wear, those funny underpants, and they weren't glamorous at all. Like these guys now, they really look after themselves.
You were lucky if they even put aftershave on, weren't you? And nobody ever saw a man putting moisturizer on their face.
Never.
Well, one thing they can't do much about is losing their hair. And a lot of boys, when they start to hit 21, 22, and if their dads have gone bald, it's hereditary most of the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
They start to lose their hair, and I think it really, really bothers men. Although it's quite fashionable to be bald and have shaved heads and everything now, but I think it must be the worst thing for men to go bald. But one guy who's looked at it, because transplants can be quite painful and they can be quite expensive. This particular guest we've got next has gone down another route which I'd never heard of before.
Our next guest is Ben Afodu, whose wonderful song, What's Wrong With You, was a fantastic hit, but he's had a really different innovative treatment, and let him tell you about it.
Hello, Ben.
Hi,
Hello.
Ben.
Hello.
I want you to
Linda.
tell us what procedure you had done, because obviously you weren't happy with your look.
Right, yeah, no, I had a micro scalp pigmentation.
Wow.
I'm a man of a certain age, and I started to have trouble on the hairline front. And funnily enough, I probably wouldn't have done it. But as a black guy, you can't really do a sort of comb over because my hair doesn't really work like that. And I was mortified. It was a place called Replenish Clinic in Cheshunt, and a girl called Kate got in touch with me, and she DM'd me, and now we're friends, and she said she put it in a really sort of like nice way, but I was so mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm balding, but everyone knows about it.
It's like a tattoo, is it, on your head?
Yeah, so someone taking a big marker and going, where do you want your hairline to start?
And is it like a colour wash, or do they do individual tiny specks?
No, it's in individual tiny specks. And I haven't had any tattoos, so it really, really hurt. But apparently, if you've had tattoos before, yeah, it doesn't hurt some people. And there are certain parts of your head that hurt more than others. And she said that you don't really need that much, but it's good to get in there early because you're obviously balding because you're a man of a certain age. And I'm sure, and as time goes on, it's only going to get worse and worse unless you have a hair transplant.
Can you put your head down? Can we see?
Can you see it?
Wow.
So
Can you get closer?
What I want to know is, did you create a new hairline, or did you put it back where it was before?
I was thinking of having like a Beatles haircut, and then maybe like a wedge, so going back to the 80s. No, I created a better hairline than I originally did, but I didn't bring it too far forward. I just thought because it looked silly, really. It's not really where my head used to be. And also, I can't ever grow it now. I can't sort of grow an afro because obviously I'll have this sort of inked part at the front.
Yeah. You have to keep shaving your head, Ben, as well.
Yeah, which is, funnily enough, I kind of always did that by choice. When I first got in this band, Fats and Small, that was the look that they wanted. They said, oh, you've got to be a gentleman, bald head, house music people who sing house records have bald heads. So I kind of always did that. So that was always like my weapon of choice. And then I wear caps and stuff, so I never really thought about it. And it's only over the last few years I was kind of like letting my hair grow on top and sort of shaving the sides. but I was balding slightly, and I went to the barber once, and I was going, "Am I balding?" And he wasn't very nice. He's lovely, but I mean, he was ruthless. He was like, "Oh, how old are you?" I said, "Well, I'm 48 now, but I'm 44." And he was like, "Well, you're not a spring chicken. Yeah, your head's going bald. So what?"
Ben, to me, you're a spring chicken.
It is a spring.
Yeah,
I do.
and also, and I don't think it's actually very much to do with aging either. I know people do lose their hair when they're older, but I know it happens to a lot of younger people as well, because they suffer from alopecia and they suffer from different things. So this is a really, really good way to combat that. I know it also works for women too.
Right. Yes, it does. It does. And I saw some pictures in the office, on the wall about it. And, some women where their hair can be thin in certain places or things, and they kind of fill it in. So it's kind of darker and makes your head look fuller. I think it's amazing. And I think even though I'm a man of a certain age, it still affects your confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
say,
like,
has it really helped you feel better about yourself?
yeah, totally. And I mean, I can't tell you, when I first got the first text, like I said earlier, like I was sort of scared of it, but I was mortified that someone would have noticed it and sort of like, oh my gosh. And she was saying to me, well, it's very hard for her because she looks through Instagram and stuff like that, and she's got a different eye. When you are, a beautician or whatever, you're looking with a completely different eye than a normal person would.
Yeah.
So she could see those the kind of thing which maybe people wouldn't necessarily notice. But I was just like, oh my gosh, how embarrassed! I actually was embarrassed. I was like, how embarrassing!
Had you never heard about it before she approached you? Because I've never heard about it.
I'd heard about it because I, just watching like famous American R&B stars. So a lot of the black guys get it, and because black guys like to have skinheads and skiffles, and actually it's quite a kind of really cool thing. So I kind of looked at it and I just thought, oh, I'd look into that one day.
The ladies that are watching as well will be very, very interested, because a lot of them don't know what to do when they have hair loss, and it's very difficult for them to get sort of hair systems and stuff like that when it's thin, but it's not that thin, and it's very, very exciting and innovative, I think.
Is it really expensive?
I don't think it's super expensive for what it buys you. I don't know, it's a few £100s, but I think for what it buys you in confidence is, you can't pay for it.
No.
Yeah, you can't put a price on it.
Can I ask you a very strange question? Can you have it on your face?
So I've had my eyebrows done as well.
Let me have a look. Come closer.
Oh, they're good. They're good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Very last question. How long did it take to have it done? And did you have it all done in one session?
It took 3 sessions, 7 done. My eyebrows took 2 sessions. So I mean, I the hair first, and then when I got the taste for it, I'm looking for what the next thing that they can do.
You go mad for it. Hairy chest, and well, if you lose it down there, you'll have to have tattoo down there.
She's always like that. Now we've had enough, Linda. You've had enough.
No, thank you so much, Ben. Wasn't he a delight? Aren't you a delight? And good luck with, I keep saying it wrong, it's Boys on Block.
Yeah, Boys on Block. Brilliant.
Boys on Block.
Thank you.
You are still a little boy. You're not a grown-up.
I wish I was a little boy. I'm at my birthday soon.
Tell us how old you're going to be.
49. I'll be 49.
No, you don't look 49.
Yeah, well, Vanessa said she's going to trade me in because I'm no longer a toy boy. She's going to trade me in for a younger model.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us today, Ben. It's been a delight.
Thank you.
God bless.
All right, God bless.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that looked really good, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's really, really interesting. I think girls have it too, as well, don't they? They can.
I think I could do with a bit there because I go back quite a long way there. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, and it really is. It's quite a nice, interesting treatment. I mean, we have tattoos everywhere else. So I once had my inside of my eye tattooed, the inside.
I know, you told me. I can't believe it. I bet that really hurt.
No, it didn't feel it at all. With a black line, and actually, I think it's probably still there all those years later. It's just really great. So when you go swimming, you look like you've got. Well, you don't look. Yeah.
No, because it just defines your eyes, and I think as you get older, you kind of lose eyelashes and lose a bit of hair everywhere, don't you? So your eyelashes don't show as much as when you were young.
No, except we use all this eyelash serum, don't we, to make our eyelashes?
Yes.
And they do.
But for Father's Day, I sent Sam along to get a gift. I sent him to have a hydrofacial. We both had one, and my Lucy's had one. and the results are fantastic. So I sent him along to the aesthetics clinic.
Well, I'm getting 6 facials in one with the hydrofacial, which is quite extensive. So there's going to be quite a lot of treatment. I believe it takes around about an hour. It's about time that I did start taking care of myself. So I'm really looking forward to it. Men are taking great care of themselves now. It's becoming a big part of the industry.
So this is the deep cleansing exfoliation. So this is removing all the top layers of dead skin cells to allow all the rest of the treatment, the products that we'll use to penetrate better into the skin.
How different is this just from a regular, buy it over-the-counter exfoliator?
Oh, it's much more, it will remove much more. This will remove the entire stratum corneum, so all the top layers of the skin cells. Whereas, like a kind of a buff that you would get over the counter will just literally just scratch the surface. It will just remove a little bit. At-home exfoliators are really good to use in between treatments, but nothing will give you a clean like hydrofacial.
I can feel it cleaning me.
It's a satisfying feel, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is quite therapeutic actually.
So this is a glycolic peel. It's just a very low percentage, so it's nice and gentle. Because the main function of this is to soften blackheads and impurities, soften oil and debris. So when I come to the next stage in a minute to do the extractions, everything will lift out of the skin so much better. It will also give a lovely glow to the skin as well.
What you have with mechanical exfoliation is you have this type of specialized tip. So it's got a soft edge to it, and through it you have chemicals, light chemicals, mild acids, literally pouring through it, jet washing your skin.
So the fluid that's in that, is that water or is that what's come out of my face?
That's serum that's been in and out of your skin. So it's and with it, it's pulled out dead skin cells, debris, blackheads, oil, pollution.
Well, aside from the pinkness, my jawline is much more defined. There's a lot more plumpness, juiciness, as I'm told is the new phrase. The pores in my nose, which is the really biggest thing, are so much, well, I can see them, but nowhere near as much as they were. It feels revitalizing. There's a real sensation of something going on. It's the first time my face has had anything like this, so this is quite massive for me. But I do feel incredibly better.
So he thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing, and his skin, even the pores have minimized. And because believe it or not, even at his age, he gets a few breakouts, and they've stopped. He loved it. And I do think that more men are going to have those kind of treatments, facials and scrubs and all the things.
I think it's very interesting because when you go to a health farm, the guys always had them then, didn't they? They would always have a facial or a massage or something. But now they can realize that this is part of their routine. And I think now, to be honest, and it's kind of swung right the other way, people that don't do that are rather dated, I feel. Men that don't look after themselves.
I feel judging them for not going now.
Yes, I am. I think they should go for treatments, for facials and everything like that. They want to keep their skin looking nice. Men have really let themselves down. I'm sorry, boys, but you have. We are aging.
You're off. She's telling you off.
We have aged well only because we have been scrubbing and masking and goodness knows what for years and years. And now it's your turn. Now you've got to see what it's like. Wait till you have a wax. Then you'll realize that childbirth is difficult.
But you know what? I think they are waking up to it, because there's so much on social media that if they want to know about facial, that all they've got to type it is, they want to know about exfoliation, all those sort of things. It's not difficult to find out how to do it, is it? And I know the aesthetics clinic have had a lot of men through the door. They said it's just not taboo anymore, which is brilliant.
No, and I know Tracy Mountford has said to us as well that they do loads and loads of treatments for men, and especially stuff like M-Sculpt. Those treatments that get your stomach going, and even though they're not classed as they are a kind of beauty treatment. They're still an aesthetic treatment because it's about how you look, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think guys are beginning to realize that it's not just like being girly to have these wonderful treatments. Or
I mean, if the NFL players are having the M-Sculpt put onto their abs and their legs and their buttocks even, because this show is all about the men.
Yes,
So who have we
go
got
back to
on?
boys.
Who are we going to talk to now, Debbie?
Oh well, we did. You were so lovely and generous and introduced me to your friend Timmy Alexis Carrington Ward, who is just gorgeous actually, and he does a fantastic, wonderful bingo show with you, doesn't he, Linda?
He does, yes. Bingo All Stars with me,
Bingo.
Rusty Lee, and Biggins. We do it together, and Mr. Motivator.
Oh, right. And I was there and I had a lovely, lovely time last week. So thank you for inviting me. But Timmy, we started to talk about beauty and Timmy said to me, what have you had done? What have you had done? And we said, do you know what? What have you had done? And he went, well, and we said, save it for the show. So here he is telling us all about his treatments.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, ladies.
Honestly, I just think you are my ideal man. You're just gorgeous. And the reason you're my ideal man is that we could just talk forever about beauty treatments, couldn't we?
Do enlighten us. What have you had done to your face?
Okay, so they were like sausages that came down here. Just so not proper bags, which I have now, just normal bags, but they were just down here. So it looked like extra bit. And I used to do a theatre school. And the parents would come in and say, oh, you've had a night of it. And it's like, no, I've been to bed early. It was awful. So I went to Mr. Joshi up the Cromwell Hospital.
Up the Cromwell?
Yeah.
Up the Cromwell.
And all he does, well, this is because this is all I needed. But so he just pulled my eyelids forward and they scrape, and it's fat that was just down here. And they just scrape that away and then they burn it back. And I swear on my life, when I woke up, I didn't even need a paracetamol, nothing.
How did it make you feel to see them gone?
Okay, so my other half saying, I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know why you're doing it. I walked into the house and David said to me, it's like you've been airbrushed. It was as instant as that. That's how bad they were. And he just went, and he said, it's just like you've been airbrushed. It was amazing. And actually, because it was so easy, I don't know why people just don't do it all the time.
I was talking to a surgeon once and he said a lot of this thick, when you get a thick, like sausage, like you were saying you had, that sometimes it's bad creams that women have used, putting it on thinking that they don't want to get bags. And if your body can't break down the product that's in the cream, it stores there. So you're actually making it worse. And he said when he breaks up that fat that he pulls out, a lot of it is chemicals that your body can't break down. So really look at your eye cream.
Said that to me, it just rung a bell.
I had my eyes done when I was 40.
What, this bit?
No, the top bits. So what happened was that my forehead has always been heavy. And so my eyes were a bit like that. Can you see? And having my eyes done, when I was 40, 20 odd years ago, the actual difference it made then was huge. But the difference now as I'm getting older, I've never had craggy eyes. So that's one of the things that keeps you looking the same is having your eyes done.
My main thing was it was making me feel tired and worn out, because people would always say, like I said, wow, you've had a night of it. And it was like, no, I'm fine. So, and then when I looked in the mirror, I thought, oh, but as soon as you've done that, you do feel healthier. And I felt more energy and everything. You haven't got people. I think what should be taken out of the English language is you look tired.
Yes, I agree.
To do with that information.
And did people around you try to, like you said, your boyfriend didn't want you to really have it done?
People would think, my sister came with me to the hospital. So I was sitting there and they were doing my eyes. And he turned to my sister and he said, what do you think about him doing this? He said, I think he's mad. Yeah. But again, take those off and it's just like, well, I sort of understand. I don't know what it is, but it's something that the likes of us will put time in to do. Whereas other people, I don't think think it's that important.
No, and I think they do, but I think they think it's vain,
yeah.
Or they think that you shouldn't be doing that. But when this is your living, this is, so if you think, this is what I'm going to work with, this is the product I'm selling. I don't want to look younger. It's not about looking younger. It's about looking good.
What about people like you, Linda, though? But when you've been known for your glamorous looks, I think it must be even harder for the likes of you, because that's what you were sold on. And I always think this about the Charlie's Angels. They're known as the most beautiful things in the world. And then they have to sort of do it because that's what they're known for, isn't it?
Well, it's all, we're all used to women in Hollywood having it done, but it's more men now, isn't it? I mean, do a lot of your male friends have a look at you and think, well, maybe I'll get that done?
Well, can we move on to my hair?
Oh yeah, please.
Your hair, I just want to run my fingers through it. I know I'm flirting with you all the time.
I must say, I have never seen such a thick head of hair that, well, it was grown by you, but not in that place.
Oh, that's
Sounds rude. Back in the day, I think every bloke, well, I think they still do, because again, it's like whether they go and do it or not, but every bloke when they're younger fears about losing their hair. That was my biggest fear from school. And it was fine then. And then I think it was around, well, my early 20s, it started to go a bit fine, thinner and thinner and thinner. And for me, there was nothing back then. Those were the two things that always got me. These sausages that went down here and my thinning hair. I just was so desperate to have it done, because I don't know if it's vain or anything, but it totally, I think it's people that have lost their hair do go through such a process.
Oh, absolutely.
Get through to the other side, because it's adjusting to yourself, isn't it? So I could not believe my luck. And literally, my sister again came up with me on the train and stayed over, went in, and they give you a very large amount of Valium. So you're not put under or anything. So you're just relaxed. And then what they do is they cut like that piece, like a banana shape, and they peel it off. So you've got the skin with the hair there. Then they staple that back. And so I had like 40 staples there. And then with this bit of skin with the hair, they cut it up into follicles of 1, 2s, and 3s, how it would naturally grow. Then what they do is they poke holes in the top and they just plant those. I mean, and it's a full day, you're just in the chair like that.
Did it hurt?
The only bit was the cutting, because they use their cutting thing, that hurt a little bit. But then after that, the only thing that was hurting, because I had these staples, was just sleeping or anything on these staples.
Can you come really close and show us the top of your head? That's fantastic.
So I'm just left with a little scar, but I went back and he then planted follicles in the scarring. So that's hardly seen. But then going back to you asking the question of whether my friends, the majority of the friends are coming up to me asking about the hair transplant. And I actually think probably about 3 or 4 have actually had it done.
Well, it looks fantastic, and you look absolutely gorgeous. Anything else?
Had your lashes done, haven't you? Yeah.
I think they're very important teeth. So I had mine when I was younger, you know, when they take the big teeth out because you've got too many teeth, that sort of thing. And then they started to get very gappy. So then I had these 4 veneered. I've had implants put in and whitened. What I did do is I used to have this Botox, but now looking back, obviously since the pandemic and we couldn't get out and things, looking back, it really did look odd because it was just like that sort of thing. And I look back and I don't really like it as much. So I might not go back that route, but that's about it.
We obviously met on the Bingo All Stars. What else are you up to? I know you do your own show, don't you?
I do my own YouTube channel called Here She Is, where I say interview, I roast my guests, celebrity guests on my bed. And I'll tell you for why. Because I'm so bored of watching any programs and you have a guest on and you just know it's going to be nice and just, oh, it's just too fluffy. And also I laugh at everything. Everything is funny in my eyes. So I laugh at everything.
And have you had anyone ever get sort of upset on the bed with you?
No, because it's not, you know me now, you know me well enough that it's not done nasty. It's just ribbing. It's like we do in our bingo thing. It's just that sort of ribbing. And
I just want to be on your bed with you.
I know you do. You just want to put your hands through me, hair girl.
One of those things. I mean, all of my life I've been waiting for a man that I can have treatments with and do everything with.
Like me, man, I love all that.
Well, I found one. I married him. He likes shopping, he likes treatments, he likes all girly things.
I know. He tells me over the pillow.
Oh. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I'll see you again soon.
Beauty angels. Bye, beauty angels.
Bye, see you.
Darling.
Well, I think you've made a friend for life there, Debbie.
I think he's gorgeous. I do. I think he's gorgeous. I just want to go into his bed. While I keep going on about going to bed with him, it does mean in the show.
In the show, yes.
He does have a show where you actually go to bed on his.
Yes,
with-
you sit on his bed and he takes the mickey out of you really for 2 hours. But he does all like that. Have you watched any of his shows?
Yeah, they're so funny.
They are really funny, but I didn't realise when he first asked me. So, but I will go into it.
Yes,
for him
because
now,
no
because
one would be horrible to our Linda.
no, and he's been so lovely to come on this show. But he's had like a lot of little procedures done. Well, I've been talking to one of the most prominent surgeons in Britain, Dr. Carides, up at the Carides Clinic in St John's Wood, and he's been telling me how more and more men are coming in for procedures, but cosmetic procedures, you know, going under the knife. So he's going to tell us a little bit about that. Have you found there's an increase in men having procedures?
Well, I think, listen, men are just as vain as women. And I think that, they're inevitably, they seek various sort of treatments to try to address issues that they have. But obviously it's a little bit different from them. They don't ask for boob jobs. And in fact, they ask for the opposite, to reduce their boobs. Many men suffer with a condition called gynecomastia, which is sort of man boobs or moobs, whatever you want to sort of shorten it to. And it's something that they can't shift through traditional means, i.e. exercise and diet, and so they seek surgical attention for that. But yeah, many men have issues or hang-ups about maybe their nose, eye bags coming out, a bit of aging creeping in as well. So yeah, I think they got one eye on the ball as well. They want to sort of try to keep aging at a distance as well.
What's the most popular male surgery?
I think body surgery, body contouring surgery, try to address sort of stubborn areas of fat, areas that are resistant to the normal sort of conventional sort of ways you deal with it. Liposuction is quite popular. But again, going to the face, I think things like, rhinoplasties or nose jobs and eye bag removal is certainly on the up.
He is wonderful. I mean, I've seen
He's also gorgeous.
Huh?
He's also gorgeous.
Oh, you've got men on your brain, haven't you?
Darling. And I've got another word for moobs. Man boobs.
Yeah.
Are ours called foobs then?
Boobs, is that female male boobs?
Female boobs, foobs, and male boobs are moobs. Anyway, I'm delirious.
You are delirious.
Yes.
You're delirious, but you're delightful too. Delightful and delirious. Yeah, no, he's fantastic. I mean, I've seen work that he's done. I've seen work on nose jobs. I've seen facelifts. I've seen eye surgery. I've seen boob. He is one of the best. But it's a shame that there's always been a sort of worry with men having things done, isn't there? They kind of feel it demasculates them a bit. But I don't think.
I think a lot of women have felt the same way as well. So yes, I think that men now. I think in 10 years' time, it's going to be just the norm for everybody, really.
Yeah, well, it kind of is in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
They go in for their MOTs each year and see what they
The
need.
Americans have always done that. How their kids have always had braces on their teeth ever since they were like,
Yeah.
for years, when I was growing up. So they've always had the great teeth thing going on. So they've always looked after their teeth and had, braces and stuff like that. And I think it's just a natural, progression, isn't it, to look after yourself.
Yeah.
So yes.
Well, we look after ourselves, don't we, Debbie?
We have to look after ourselves.
And you look after yourself out there. And I hope you've enjoyed the show today because we've loved it.
And yes, you've got to follow us on Instagram and subscribe on YouTube for our giveaway because it's going to be great. And yes, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. And it'll be about girlies then. But we hope you've enjoyed this book, guys. And we'd honestly, your partners or your brothers or your husbands, or just ask us any questions you like, because we'll be doing another program on men.
And we're at the.beautyangels on Instagram. So join in now because you've got a chance of winning a bumper package.
A bumper package.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.